Ronex exemplifies resilience. Ronex has persisted. Ronex has not been afraid to stay with what he believes he loves to do and he's called to do. And that's staying with the art. And he has been a painter, he has been a sculptor, almost a designer of furniture. He has made a lot of different things, but he always stays within the art. And I find that quite profound, and it's a lesson to younger artists who are trying to enter the field of art.
People have always asked me why I do shows almost every year. Don't you get tired? Then tired, do what? Because I was always wonder. Because to me, that's the only time you lose control of your work. And to me, that's it's not empowering, it's scaring. I think I always want that scare every year. When I do a show, I feel that's when my year has either started and begun. Because it's like an account of my year. So it's proof of my year. Because if I don't do a show, it's as if I never existed. Sculpture takes a long time. So I thought like after 20 years, I should do one sculpture show. So since last year, I've been working on it. Personally, I don't work with specific themes because I find them limiting. Because I think I always consider the how, not the what. To me, it's like I would want a theme that doesn't limit me. Because if I get a good idea, because even if I'm working, I could have an idea. If I get a better idea, I abandon that. Because that idea is still there. So why would I lose a better idea? It's like I'm not too much of a conservative. An idea I think can grow. It's not like something just start like this, end like this. Because sometimes ideas are not that good. In the head it's perfect. When you're doing, it's lacking. So I find it like, it's like enjoying the moment, being inspired by the moment. So that's how I accumulate works. Mainly the works I've been considering reliefs, also working on materials I haven't worked with for a long time, so more of mixing materials. Because I think I'm more obsessed with materials and see how combining them, because it's always driven by what if I did this, what happens. So like there are things I would want to combine and see whether they make sense. To me, I think that's what I'm looking for, whether they make visual sense. At first I used to use wood, and then turn to other materials. So like as you're exposed to also experimentations, and then there are other materials, because in this show I didn't want to show even a piece of wood. Because when we were taught at school, at fine art school, we were taught wood carving and cement work. Later we had workshops of casting, and so those are materials, because from 20 years, should I be doing things I was taught at school? So I wanted to see whether there's growth or like experimentation of materials, so that we don't, it's not like I'm saying that some people who love one material and they stick to it. I get bored with one material. I always see life as a patch, and that's the symbolism, one thing you see all in my work. But in that patching, there's always gaps. So gaps either need to be filled or they'll never be filled. So partly that, the old work, you find they fit perfectly there. To me, there are many experiments I do and many that fail. But you do a work 10 years later and then say, okay, this works here. So you find a missing piece is the past. Because I'm combining old works, new works. When I present it, it's a new work.
I have known Ronex since the early 2000s. when he was an artist starting out and experimenting with a lot of materials. And that's the beauty of Ronex's work. He's not afraid to experiment, both with materials and techniques and the merging between painting and sculpture, different media. He has worked with aluminum and melted pots and worked in the sort of jua kali way with metal. But what I'm seeing now is the rubber, and I'm finding that very interesting. I hadn't seen him use that. That's what is standing out as a new approach that I haven't seen in his work. Because I've seen his experimentation with the metals, folding, melting and rolling and all that. But the rubber, I'm finding that very interesting.
He's just an all-round artist, because the works I've seen now, for this exhibition specifically, he has majored in the 2D, but still the exhibition has the two-way, the 2D and the 3D. For a sculpture person to have the 2D and the 3D in the same exhibition, it is really good for Ronex.
My shows, I would prefer it to be not about even me. I would want to see what people think. To me, it's more of like an opinion, but a visual opinion. Then they can give me their opinion. They can be wrong, I can be right, I can be there. So I think that's the reason why most times artists have to show their works, because I feel that's when they feel complete.
Ronex as a person gives you that memory lane of the industry. And for me, I look at him and his work as an archive of materials of this industry, but also of the society. And to me, he's more of a social critique, but through materials and through his ways of working or processes. His shows are a display of his thoughts and his critique of the industry, but also the world at large. He's been consistent about telling the stories, but most importantly, archiving for purposes of creating a new thinking of a museum that is so accessible, a museum that is so public and open to the general understanding of the public. That has been consistent from day one.